So in this session, we are going to learn how we can create contents and use that content in our web page. So I'm going to log into my website, which we have created until now. And then from menu, we are going to go to, let's say we are going to go to content data. And here we are going to go to web content. Okay, so in a web page, you typically can add a lot of text content or a lot of media. So all of those are called web content. So whenever you want to add such contents, first thing which you need to do is you need to go to web content, and there you need to click on add, and you need to add some web content. Now web content you can organize under some folders. So in this case, let's say I'm going to call it Liferay course, and then I'm going to save this. And inside Liferay course, we are again probably going to create another folder which we are going to call, let's call it introduction, and then save it. And inside this we can go inside this, and now we can start adding basic web content. So click on basic web content. And also I'm going to click on menu so we get more space. Okay, we don't want to see whatever is there on the left side. And now we get more space to work with. Now here is the place where you can start adding the content. Okay, so if you click here, you can see this option appearing which is talking about add. So if you click on add, you will get an option to add image, you will get an option to add video, you will be getting option to add tables or horizontal lines. Now here you can start typing. For example, let's say I'm going to call it Liferay course outline, and here let's say we are going to describe all the topics which we are going to teach in Liferay. For example, it can be introduction, and then once you write all of these options, you have an option to now format these. So for example, you can highlight this, and now you are going to get these different options appearing automatically. So now here I can change this to a heading. So I can make it heading 3, which is going to make it a bit bigger. And also again, if you want it to make it more bigger, probably you can change it to heading 2 or heading 1. And now the remaining points I'm just going to select, and I'm going to keep it as bulleted list. So I'm going to select bulleted list, and now you can see all of these have moved here. And if you want to bold certain items, you can do that as well. So for example, let's say in this case, I might want to change this Windows machine to in bold, so we can do that. And again, if we want to change it to italic, we can do that as well. And also, let's say if we want to create hyperlink, for example, here this read more, I'm going to keep it a link, and here you can give the link. For example, let's say here you can provide the link of liferay.com, and whenever a user clicks on this, he is going to be taken to a link which is liferay.com in this case. Okay, so creating this is very simple. And now here I'm just going to insert an image. So I'm going to click on insert image, and then here again we can go inside. This is our documents and media section. So here we can go inside the folder or subfolders where we have kept our content, and then we can use that. So in this case, I do not have any image which is talking about Liferay, so I'm just going to use this image. Right now this is not title, so we have not given any title. Let's give it a title and call it Liferay outline, and then click on publish. Now this has been published. Okay, so one more thing is, in Liferay, almost any item you add that is going to have its own separate permission management. So now here, if you see these 3 dots, you can select here, and then you are going to see an option of permissions. Now under the permissions, you can control what is the permission you want to give to each type of users. For example, if you don't want this web content to be seen by a guest user, then you can remove this view permission from here. Okay, this is similar to how you control access on a documents and media content. So I'm not going to make any change here. I'm just going to close this. And now we are going to use this web content in one of our web page. Now we are going to click here on fragments, and here we can click on content display, and under the content display we need to drag and drop this content option. So I'm going to drag this and drop it here on top of this image option. So now here you see we have an option of selecting content. Okay, so if you click here, you will see this option appearing, fragment configuration. So you can click on fragment configuration, and here you have an option of adding content. So here click on plus sign. If you now click on select content, which is available as the second option, now it is going to take you to this documents and media page. So from here you can switch to a different tab, which is web content. So I'm going to select this web content, and now here you see we have an option of going inside the folder, Liferay course folder, which we had created, and inside that we can go inside introduction, and then we can select this web content. Okay, so now the web content which we have selected is being shown here. Now you can click on publish, and now you have your first web content created on a web page. One thing, if you notice, the image which we had put here is not coming properly, so seems there is some problem with this image. So I'm going to change this image with some other image. So I'm going to go inside content and data, and going to go inside web content. And also notice, in this case, if you make changes or if you make updates in the web content, then whichever web page which is using that web content is going to get updated automatically. So for example, let's say if I add new line here, I don't need to then go to a web page and refresh or do any changes there. Whatever the content is available here, that is going to get auto reflected there on the web page. So let's say I'm going to add one more line, which is talking about creating blogs in Liferay, and then this line you will notice is going to get auto updated. In the meantime, now I'm going to remove this image and going to insert a new image from here. So let's say we want to add this image. Okay, and then I'm going to click on publish, and now let's go back to the page, which is home page, and here now you can see this is a new line which you had added, and it came here automatically, and also the image has automatically been updated.